and you're feeling that pain, that means that you're moving from one place to another. Now, what I would challenge you is not to get caught up in this hustle culture. There's like this thing on the internet where, like everybody's being told that you need to have a side hustle or 2 or 3 or 4, right? But we're not finding the right balance. Now, I want to ask Irina about this. Like, what is your thought and view on this 24/7 hustle culture? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
May I ask questions first? All right. How many of you went to business to be your own boss and not to have a boss, and you're like tired of being an employee? Come on, raise your hand. Here you go. So it's actually one of the most common reasons for people to go into business. They're like, I am done working for somebody else. And how many of you are working more than 40 hours a day? A week, sorry. A day, I was like, a week. Honestly, was all the emails being on the phone 24/7, checking emails late at night and answering the text messages? So that's what happens, right? The hustle culture of 24/7. And probably about 5 years ago or so, I would say, yes, do it as much as you can. And now, after going personally through burnout, I would say, F no. Pardon my language. And when you're opening a business, it does take work. It does take hard work. But what is important, and that's what not being said, is that it's not sustainable to work constantly. And it's more important to work smart than hard. Have you ever had a very short period of time when you need to get things done and you're like, oh my God, I actually done that and more, and I was so productive? And the other day you have the whole 24 hours and you feel like you didn't accomplish anything? So it's how you put your energy, where you put your energy, how clear you are with what you are doing. So it's more important to be strategic with your time than just hustling over and over, because it's not gonna take you where you wanna go. It's not sustainable. You're not creating a long-lasting business, and it's gonna affect your mental and physical health. So are you actually building a business, or you're building a grave in a graveyard for yourself? Wow. And your business is not gonna be here, and you're not gonna be here to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Wow. Wow. Are you building a business, or are you building a graveyard? That's deep. Like, people don't want to think about those type of things, but that is a reality. That is a reality. Like last week, they had the speakers network here, like the Next Level Speakers Conference here, and some of the top speakers on the planet were here. And one of the things that one of the speakers, I can't remember which one he said, he was like, when do you want to die? Like, if you could pick a day that you wanted to die, like, when would it be, right? So if you're in your 30s, you might say 50, 60, 70 years from now, right? And he worked backwards. He said, all right, let's just say that that's the date. How many days do you have left? And what are you going to do with those days? You don't want to be working 24/7, and you have to work smart. You have to work smart. So and I'm not trying to make it about me, but one of the things that I realized when I started really doing my business consultancy is I have to build something in with my clients that is around that sustainability. So everything that I do, and when I work with a client, everything they do, every action, everything they're doing has to meet this criteria. It has to be scalable, sustainable, repeatable, and franchisable. That's how you have to build your business. Scalable, sustainable, repeatable, and franchisable. Because if you start your business, so you have the e-commerce business, right? And let's just say this video was to go viral and everybody hit your website. And all of a sudden you had all these orders for your ladies' fashion. Would you be able to scale up quickly? All right, so that means you need to build something into your model, because otherwise you're trying to build a business that if it's as successful as you want it to be, it actually falls over. And you may have said yes and said, well, I could do that. It would mean that I'd have to work harder for, every day. I'd have to work more hours for 3 months. But is that sustainable, right? And then once you build that business, you want to make sure that you have a model that is documented, that is repeatable. Because, most businesses, and I'm sure Rick and everyone here will agree with this, most businesses, the fundamentals are all the same. And once you master the fundamentals, you can repeat that. But if you don't have it documented, what are you going to repeat if it's all up here? So if you are digging that grave instead of building that grave instead of building that business, you might build a business that no one can even take over. You can't even pass it over to a child because it was all in your head and it dies with you. So that was really encouraging, and I like that. And I hope everybody takes that away and it helps you reflect on what you're doing and hopefully do things a little bit differently. And this is where it will probably come to someone like Robin,